Welcome to No Broken Legs. I am your host, Evan Belfiore. Joining me on the phone on a Tuesday evening is Jimmy Champ. Jimmy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Oh, no, wait. I just dropped the paper out of my wrist bracelet. Hold on. I got to find it. Oh, wait. I found it. I'm good now.
Was that not the most Brownsian thing that could have ever happened?
It's absolutely perfect.
Well, what were your thoughts on what we saw Sunday? The Chicago Bears really just put it to the Browns.
Sometimes we're really right at predicting the future, so there were no surprises over here. That game went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, I thought the Browns would do a little better defensively, but they just got manhandled.
Yeah, well.
And it would have been from the opening bell, too. They gave up that long return to start the game, and if it wasn't for a drop screen pass, they probably would have scored on that first drive.
Yeah. It was, I think we're just, we're still in the minority of people who see the Browns defense for what it really is. And you could say, and there's probably some validity to it where you could say, well, the defense is now playing like shit because the offense is playing so bad. And there probably is some validity to it, but it just looks like at times, while there are some absolute bright spots on the defense, there are spots in this defense that can be got every week by a good offensive coordinator.
I think it's also important to mention that because the offense has been so bad, teams don't really do anything that exotic on offense. They're not running their best stuff.
Exactly.
Because they don't need to. They're coming into the game thinking, okay, if we can get through this with mostly our base packages, then we don't have to put stuff on film.
Yep. And regardless of the play of the offense, if this was an actual Super Bowl defense, teams couldn't do that.
I agree with that.
I think it was bad. It was another, special team started it off just like, it was poor. It was poor all the way.
Can I use the word?
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah. There you go.
The team looked like they quit on Stefanski in that game.
Yeah.
As soon as they gave up that first big return, everybody just looked like, this shit again, and everybody just checked out.
Yep.
At this point, it feels like piling on to talk about how 12 different things go wrong with 12 different guys and how they find ways to lose little 50-50 battles throughout the game. And the Jerry Jeudy touchdown, if he catches that with his hands, that's a touchdown. Now it's an interception. Congratulations. There was, I don't even remember what it was in the game. It was a little later, maybe after halftime, where they had a third down play where Bitonio didn't block anybody.
Yeah.
Two guys just came through untouched. And, Sheduer, instead of backpedaling 10 yards, just took the sack. But I guess that's growth. But you can't, what are you doing? That's no way to make anything happen. And when Bitonio's having problems like that, there's bigger breakdowns going on.
Because just all of it, and I think the Jerry Jeudy play to me is it's a microcosm of a microcosm. Shame on the offensive coaching staff for still putting Jerry Jeudy on the field. Shame on you for doing that.
Well, Jimmy, this is a team that didn't even hold guys that have cost them games. What was it? Thomas had the false start. No repercussions for that. So why would Jeudy get punished?
Yeah, but it's shame on that. But then that ball, you've got a corner trailing close. You have a safety coming over the top. We know enough about Jerry Jeudy from this year. He ain't getting his clock cleaned. He ain't putting his arms out, leaving himself defenseless. Why doesn't anybody else? Why doesn't it's just it's so frustrating, and it's so sad. And this guy's another guy who got an extension. It's just
and we talked so about it at the time when they traded for him. Amari Cooper was coming off the best 2-year stretch a wide receiver had probably ever had as a Cleveland Brown, and not only did they not give him a new contract like he had hoped for, but they traded for another receiver and gave that receiver an extension. And people can say, oh, well, he was really good last year, and I don't care. He had a huge game, and then for the rest of the season he was okay, but he still has his ups and downs. He still has games where he disappears. He still has problems catching the football,
Yeah.
and these are all the reasons that we thought it was dumb. He's going to be cut in the offseason. He's I think a $16 million dead cap hit, and they may as well just move on from him because
Yeah.
he looks like a guy that's going to just kill the locker room if he's around again next year.
Yeah, I would agree.
How's that look now, Jerry? Fucking running your mouth the other day like you had any right to get into anybody's shit about being a fuck up.
Like but I
Man.
agree with you. I mean,
So
I agree
bad.
with you. I think the quit. I think it's a fair at this point. It's fair, and then, but then also like now we have if there are any listeners that don't know, Evan and I have both spent time in middle management, retail leadership positions in our lives, and we know what it's like when you have a toxic work environment and you're losing every day, but nobody gets held accountable and nobody gets fired and nobody gets suspended and everybody just gets to keep doing the job they're being paid to do, even if they're doing it shittily. And it's a really hard thing to do, to handle that physically, emotionally, mentally. Like, it's tough. And that's where the Cleveland Browns are. Like, I feel like if I was a player on that team, I would go, how isn't he benched? How isn't that coach fired? How isn't that? Why isn't Jim Schwartz the interim head coach? Why is Jerry Jeudy on the field still? Like, it's got to be mind breaking for the
Why
players.
is Bubba Ventrone on this team?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, how has he not been fired?
I mean, I
It's crazy.
I can understand it if they've just made the decision that we are never going to fire a coach or a GM in the middle of a season.
And this is the
And
thing
that
too. Is like,
I guess that's a decision to make, but it doesn't that's not getting you anywhere.
there's so much secrecy behind the scenes with the team. Like, to steal Ventrone away, you had to make him the special teams coach and the assistant head coach. And I'm like, well, what kind of input does he have? Is he the reason? Like, is he one of the reasons? Like, what is going on? Oh, it's so bad. It's so pathetic. It's so sad. Kevin
That's about it. And
Kevin
hey,
Stefanski.
at least on a positive note, the Buffalo Bills are coming to town, so
There you go, off a
it's
humongous win.
yeah, they got a big win against New England, really solidifies their playoff
Yeah.
chances and gives them a chance at that division. The
You know,
Buffalo
it
Bills
will
come to
be.
Cleveland. They are 10-point favorites in this game. 42 is the over under. This feels like a game that at kickoff or before kickoff when they're doing the intro, the announcers are going to be like, this is almost like a home game for the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't see any way the Browns keep this game close. This is a real football team with something to play for, just like we saw. I don't see why last week is an aberration.
Yeah, it's not. This is just worse because the Bills have an even better offense.
Yeah, I like all the James Cook part. Anything you can do with James Cook, he's going to score touchdowns, and he's probably going to break a run, and he's going to easily get to 100 yards.
I would say maybe the Bills, maybe their defense is a little worse than the Bears, but not much. I think they're pretty similar. So there's no reason to think the Bills aren't just going to run over Cleveland.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I
I
mean,
guess
they're
we
just
can look at the other side of this game. Since the Browns are going nowhere, the Bills are staring down a playoffs where one of their nemesis is not going to be in because Patrick Mahomes is out with an ACL injury and the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs. What what are you expecting from this team moving forward? Is it important for them to win the division?
it's so weird because you would think the obvious answer is yes, but I almost think like for Josh Allen that might be too much. Like it may be too much to have no no Mahomes, possibly no Lamar, and home playoff games. And then what happens if you start to play bad? Like they might be better on the road in the playoffs. As weird as that is,
Yeah,
I think
no, I know where you're coming from. I don't know if I totally agree with it because my brain can't wrap my head around them being better going on the road.
yeah,
But
but
maybe they are. Maybe that's what they need. because they've been embarrassed at home in the playoffs, not just by Kansas City, but also by Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And maybe that puts them in the right position. Anything else in this game that we really need to talk about? I mean, the Browns are probably going to get housed.
I mean, the only thing I want to say is it's going to be incredible. Like 15 years from now, there are going to be this small sect of Cleveland Browns fans that are going to be sitting in front of a TV, and there's going to be like a trivia question that's going to be like, can you name the 2-time Coach of the Year that also has one of the worst winning percentages in the history of the NFL for a coach with over 100 starts?
Yeah.
It's going to be this small
like,
group of people that are going to be like, Kevin Stefanski, we know this one.
Well, the way they're going, he may still be the coach.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. No, I guess I would say, like, it would be nice to see a little bit more fight out of the team because it just didn't feel like they had any. And, you know, what was so weird to me was all the people talking about, like, oh, it was so cold and the weather was nasty. I'm like, never seen Cleveland Browns football, like, at the end of the year? Never seen AFC North football at the end of the year? That's what it is.
And them same people making that excuse are the ones that are complaining about the dome and losing outdoor football games.
Right. Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. But it would be nice. I mean, it would be nice because I do think, I mean, if you have a real NFL offense, like the Bills' defense is gettable to a point.
Yes.
So you could score some points, have a little bit of sustained drives if you have a real offense, but I don't think they have a real offense. So
there seems to be a lot of positive sentiment around what Sheduer Sanders did. And, I mean, it seems like they're gearing up to make the case that he should be the starter long term. We both think that's probably really premature and maybe not the best idea. But he obviously has a couple more games to play. That didn't look good last week, man.
I mean, I don't like that. The problem is all the people that were like, oh, even with these crappy weapons, Sheduer looks like the guy when they beat some of the worst teams in the NFL, but then blame those same weapons and that same roster when he looked like he looked. Like, Sheduer played really, 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 really bad football against like a 15th ranked defense in the NFL.
Yeah, they force a lot of turnovers, but in general, they're not particularly great.
Yeah, the Bears are somewhere in there, and you looked like that. And I don't understand how you can watch that performance, plus the performance you had when you had the lead against the Titans. Like, he was horrible in the third quarter of that Titans game. And then it rolls into the Bears game where he was horrible. And I just can't believe you watch that and go, well, that's our guy. No, I'm not. Like, if the Browns decide to draft an offensive lineman and a wide receiver in the first round and roll with some quarterback, I don't really have a problem with it.
That would be, I guess, a positive thing that they would look at with Sheduer is if he can look okay, they can maybe sell to the fan base.
Like,
hey, we're going to go with Sheduer and build around him, and then that appeases all the people, and you give him a chance to sink or swim, but you still keep your eyes to 27 and drafting a quarterback early there.
Kind of, like, if you want to do that and then bring in a Mac Jones or something, like, I don't have a problem with it, but I can also, like, with the way Sheduer look, like the way he looked against the Bears, if that makes you go, well, now we have to draft a quarterback, I can understand that as well.
You have to at least look competent against the Bills' defense because they'll give you chances. And he does throw a nice deep ball, but there's still a lot there that looks like it doesn't understand what's there. It doesn't understand the coverages that he's seen, can't make some of the easy plays. Maybe that would be better if he had gotten more reps. I don't know. But again, that's something you can sell to the fan base with a whole off season. We can look how much we did with him when he wasn't getting all these reps, and now he's going to get all these reps. And you can sell that to the fan base for a year and keep everybody at bay because I guess if he looks pretty good, Stefanski does deserve some credit for that.
Okay.
I mean, it can't all be Sheduer learning the offense. He has to be working with either him or Tommy Rees. Like somebody on the coaching staff is helping him.
I just think this end of the season, like, you're playing okay-ish teams that have something to play for. He's going to look like he looked like the Bears game for the rest of the year.
I mean, that's what I'm anticipating.
that's how he's going to look. And I just don't understand. Like, I don't.
I mean, the offensive line being terrible and the lack of weapons is a real thing.
Yeah, but I also
But
think
he doesn't. But like Stefanski, he doesn't show an understanding of some of the baser level stuff that makes me. That's the base level stuff makes me more nervous than
yeah,
some of the other stuff.
but I feel like there's a lot of the pro Sheduer crowd and anti Gabriel crowd and Browns fans and people that maybe don't understand because they're like, oh well, we just fix the offensive line and we get wide receivers in the offseason and then we're good to go. Like, teams don't get rid of good offensive linemen.
Yeah, they're going to need 5 new offensive linemen. That's the
You,
problem.
you would be lucky to find 2 good replacement offensive linemen in the draft and through free agency. Now, wide receivers, you could probably get some weapons.
No, they can't. This team has shown no ability to get wide receivers outside of the Cooper
I kind of
trade.
forgot about. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Because
But
they
I
can't
just
draft
think,
them.
like it's hard for me to deal with the people that are like, oh, it'll be fine. Sheduer would be great behind a good offensive line with good wide receivers next year. And the NFL doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, he would probably be better, but what is that ceiling? It doesn't look very high.
Right. So yeah, I think it's going.
just
I think it's going. Yeah.
just sunshine and rainbows. Couldn't be going better.
Yeah. Hey, even though it's going to tank your odds, I'll probably put the Bills money line in a lot of parlays. So general.
Yeah, they have those escalators where the more bets you put in, although it might not, that might be too big of odds to go into one of those profit boost things. Usually they top out at around plus 300.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, usually they top out at minus 300.
Yeah, so it might not work, but yeah.
Well, let's get to some teams that are actually good and have something to play for, and it doesn't get much bigger than Thursday night, where the Los Angeles Rams travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. This is a contest that will play large in the NFC West. These two teams are currently tied. The Rams come into this game as 1-point road favorites. 44 is the over-under. Jimmy, what do you expect under the lights on Thursday night in Seattle?
I expect the Rams to win a close game by a field goal.
Man, I totally agree. This is one of those games that you look at Sam Darnold in a big spot under the lights. These are the types of games that he tends to not perform well in.
Yeah, I mean, and Seattle wasn't nearly, and I'm sure there's a little bit of a sad recency bias for Seattle blowing a couple really nice parlays I had by not covering against the Colts. But Seattle did not look like I thought they would look against the Colts. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. But yeah, I agree with you. I just think like if it comes, I think both these defenses are pretty good. Both teams have good weapons. Interior sides of both lines are good. This simply comes down to, I think, the 2 quarterbacks, and you cannot possibly think Darnold's going to outplay Stafford in this game.
We'll have to see what happens with the Rams. No Devontae Adams. So how does that affect their red zone offense? Although it didn't, it was hilarious that he was double covered on the one play. I just laughed when I saw that. They're just like, God damn, they still threw it to him and they almost got a touchdown anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm oversimplifying how easy Devontae Adams in the red zone has been, but I feel like then just throw it to Puka Nacua
Yeah,
or
that
just
does
run
seem
the
like
ball.
an easy answer.
I mean, just Kyron Williams and Blake Corum have really turned into a really nice 1-2 punch. So, just run the ball in the red zone, and they have one of the best play designers in the league. So that's very
Williams
cool.
had 2 touchdowns last week, so I think they'll probably be all right.
I think they're going to be okay.
Up next, the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Washington to take on the Armada. Eagles 6.5-point favorites. 44.5 is the over/under. Eagles got right against the Las Vegas Raiders, as many teams do. The Commanders, I don't know what they're kind of doing at this point. They're just sort of playing out the string. Is this another game where we see the Eagles just lay the smack down?
I think it might be a little bit closer because I think the Armada. I mean, I know it's the Giants, but the Armada played pretty well last week. But yeah, I like the Eagles here. I mean,
these teams have not played yet. Okay, so these teams haven't played yet. This is the first time they faced off. I just feel like the Eagles are going to cover this spread like they did last week against Vegas. They're
Uh,
trying to keep themselves into position for maybe getting the second seed. You don't look confident. Like if you're the Eagles, you're thinking the Bears probably lose another game,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you definitely want to get the 2 seed because I think playing a beat up. Wait,
yeah,
who would you get? Playing a beat up San Francisco looks a hell of a lot more fun than playing the Rams or the Seattle Seahawks.
yep, yep. Yeah, I agree, but I do. I think Philly is even with their problems, a team like Washington should not be any problem at all.
The aforementioned Chicago Bears are hosting the Green Bay Packers in a huge NFC North game. The Packers are 1-point favorites. 46.5 is the over-under. The big story coming into this game is that Micah Parsons will no longer be playing. He also tore his ACL. Does that take the Packers out of contention to be a Super Bowl winner?
No, I don't think so.
You think they still got enough on that side of the ball?
Because of the year of chaos, I don't think it takes them out of contention.
I think they also, as critical of Jordan Love as I can be, if he puts together 4 good games like Joe Flacco did 15 years ago or whenever that was, this team can definitely win the Super Bowl. If Jordan Love is on, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, I think even with Parsons out, like if their offense scores some points, their defense will still be good enough to be able to win games. I like the Packers here. I think the Packers are better than the Bears, and I also think, like, as weird as it's going to be, I think the first quarter for the Bears is probably going to go poorly because they're going to have to click back to reality of playing a real NFL team.
I'm going to take the Bears here. I think they're going to win this game.
Whoa! Ho-ho.
The combination of that opportunistic defense and Jordan Love's propensity to turn the ball over makes me think that Chicago is going to be able to win this game. That running game is legit, and Caleb Williams is he's just playing really well right now, and it just shows. He's grown a lot. He's better than I would think you thought he would be, and he's definitely exceeded my expectations because I was off the bandwagon coming into this year.
Yeah, he is greatly improved with a really good offensive play designer, offensive coordinator as his new coach. Like he has gotten so much better this year. Kudos to him and kudos to DeAndre Swift. He's really had a nice run here with the Bears after the Lions sent him packing. So, but yeah, the Bears run game looks good. They do look good. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bears won this. I still just think I'm still going to lean Jordan Love over Caleb Williams.
That's fair. Up next, the Los Angeles Chargers are traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 2-point favorites. 49.5 is the over-under. This line kind of confused me, Jimmy. I was surprised the Chargers weren't favored. I was expecting this to be like Chargers by 1 or maybe a pick 'em.
Yeah, I don't understand, but I'm all over the Chargers here. The Chargers win this game outright. Like, defensively, they'll be able to slow down the Cowboys on a couple drives, and I don't know if the Cowboys can slow down the Chargers offense.
You just can't lose that Vikings game.
No.
And be at least and have any hope of making the playoffs because that pretty much took them out. I know they're not officially eliminated, but the way the standings look now, they're in real trouble. They're 10th at 6-7-1, and Carolina's ahead of them. Detroit's ahead of them. None of those teams are in the playoffs, by the way. And then you've got the Packers that are 3 full games ahead of them in 7th place. So if they lose, this will be the week they get knocked out. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, the Vikings just, every time they ran the ball, there was a gap in the defense. Wide receivers were running wide open. I mean, if J.J. McCarthy was a better quarterback, the Vikings might have won that game by like 4 scores.
Our next game sees the Cincinnati Bengals as 2.5-point road favorites in Miami taking on the Dolphins. The over-under is 50.5. Joe Burrow looks like he's totally bummed out playing for the Bengals, and I can't really blame him. And it looks like the Dolphins are talking about benching Tua, and I can't really blame them either. So Miami's sort of been surging late this year. What do you expect to happen here?
Because of the things you just mentioned and how absolutely weird that Bengals game was last week, and really even the Dolphins game Monday night. Like, this is an absolute stay away from me. I'm gonna pick the home dog for the point of our pod, but I don't want any part of this game.
I think Miami's offense looks pretty good against that bad Bengals defense because I think Mike McDonald can coach an offense. He can get guys open. He can design run plays. I think they'll be able to score. I like them as well. Up next, the New York Jets are traveling to New Orleans, and I just chuckle looking at this line because the Saints are 4.5-point favorites. The over/under is 40.5. This is one of those games where we're stuck with a dilemma, Jimmy. like, does nobody trust the Saints to beat anybody by a field nobody trusts the Saints to win, let alone beat anybody by 4.5. But I mean, are you going to take the Jets? Like, it doesn't feel like the Jets should be within a touchdown of anybody.
I mean, it's 4.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints might win on two safeties, but the Jets still cover. Give me the Jets.
Oh man, I'll take the Saints just to be a contrarian. I don't know. I hate this game. I'm not going to bet on this at all.
Yeah, absolute stay away there.
The first of two contests to decide the NFC South takes place this week. The next one will be at the end of the season. Tampa is in Carolina this week. 3-point favorites are the Buccaneers. 45.5 is the over/under. Just neither one of these teams look like they want to win this division right now. It's very frustrating because I have a lot of money on the Buccaneers. So, do you think they can put it to Carolina here?
I'm going to be very curious to see what this line ends up being Sunday morning. I would imagine it might actually swing the Panthers' way a little bit.
I was surprised this wasn't more like 1.5, 2.
Yeah, I was surprised. But I imagine it'll end up a little bit closer to the Panthers side. I am all over the Buccaneers here. I think, like, right now I would say it's a push because I think this is probably a field goal game.
Yeah.
But so I'm more like this is like a money line parlay bet for me. But I just think it's so hard to say like this. You had a 3rd and 28, like a 3rd and 28. What are you doing? I just think
it's
Tampa,
very frustrated.
I think at a lot of spots across the board, I think Tampa just has a better roster, and I think the moment will end up being too big for some of the key players on the Panthers roster, but not for the Buccaneers. They have more players that have been in these situations, and I think they'll manage this game better if their coaching staff gets out of their way.
I'm going to take the Panthers because I think this line should be lower, and I'll take the extra points that they're giving them. I think the Panthers win this game, lose the next two, and the Buccaneers lose this game and win, or possibly lose this game and win the next two. I think it's really, that would be peak fuck your fans over for Carolina, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week, lose to the Seahawks, and then lose to Tampa for the division in the last week of the season.
Oh, man, what great script writing that would be.
Our next game sees the Minnesota Vikings traveling to New York to take on the Giants. The Vikings are 3-point favorites. 43.5 is the over/under. This is the week I think everybody's going to be like, oh, J.J. McCarthy's good, and they're going to bet on him. But I'm going to take the Giants because I think that defensive line can give him problems, and I don't think he's actually good. What say you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I hate it when I think you're right, but I think you're right. I think this is a game where it would make sense, like it just all makes sense to take the Vikings here. But I think the Giants have a comparable offense to Dallas and a much better defense than Dallas. So it's hard to believe the Vikings are going to be able to beat them by more than 3 points. So I like the Giants here as well.
Wow, we both like the Giants. It's been a while, I think, since that's probably not since they played the Browns.
Yeah, I just have to because, like when we made our predictions and stuff at the start of the year, I really felt like I think I was a little bit higher on J.J. McCarthy than you were. Not that I thought he was, like, even an average quarterback. I definitely thought he's like bottom half of the league. But I just thought with all those weapons, it wouldn't matter, and his play absolutely matters. He's actually that bad.
Yeah, you would think with how that whole situation is set up, he could do Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones type
Yeah,
things in San
yeah,
Francisco.
and it just hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. Well, Jimmy, just pour a little out for the Kansas City Chiefs
Yeah.
7-year run. It ends with not a bang, but a whimper.
Yeah.
7 years, they get 3 Super Bowl wins. They go to 5, and they made the AFC Championship game each year, which is a very impressive thing. Real quick, how much do you think playing an extra season of football over the last 5 years has led to this season?
An incredible amount because they have actually retained so much of their roster. So it's so many people like in the trenches that have played in all those games on both sides of the ball.
I think it also is everybody's been hunting them for a long time. And because they haven't had a ton of roster overhaul, everybody's still playing sort of the same as they were for all these years, but teams have adapted to that now.
Yeah.
And I think those two things have really contributed to it. It'll be really interesting to see what they do to try to retool. They're going to need running back help, and they definitely need offensive line help.
Yeah, and it's definitely like there's just been underperformance all year from the skill positions, which is not the spot I was expecting the problems to be. It's really weird, but
Agreed.
I mean, it's just kind of where it ended up happening.
Well, the first game that doesn't really matter for the Chiefs in quite some time, we'll see Gardner Minshew leading that Chiefs offense against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. The over/under is 37.5. Just do we expect the Chiefs to win this game convincingly? I do because Tennessee looks like they're just done. They look like a bad football
I was
team.
gonna say this is we get the good Gardner Minshew madness in this one. Like
Oh
yeah, I
man,
think
and then there'll be hacky dudes on Monday, like when Minshew goes for like 270 and 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, going like, "Oh, should they have been playing Minshew? It shows you that Mahomes isn't that good."
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the Chiefs will blow Tennessee out.
47.5. Obviously, I missed this one. How I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I can't imagine why you'd miss this one.
The Atlanta Falcons are traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Falcons are 2.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the over/under. We finally got the Drake London game, or sorry, we finally got the Kyle Pitts game, Jimmy.
Yeah, you
It
ain't kidding.
ruined our season, and I don't know. I guess the Falcons should win this game convincingly, but I mean, who knows this year?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm
All right, I'll take the Cardinals too then. Give me the
yeah,
home dog.
I think the Cardinals actually like. I think the Cardinals showed a lot of fight against Houston last week. Would have been very easy for them. Like when they were down like 30-7, would have been very easy for them to turn tail, but they didn't. They fought, and I just think I just still don't know what I think of Atlanta because that was yeah I don't know. Like Kyle Pitts is only good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for whatever reason. So
Yeah, I mean, this is the team that got blown out by 30 against Carolina.
yeah, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lean Arizona on this one.
Big AFC. Man, who would have thought this is a big AFC playoff
Yeah,
implication game? The Jacksonville Jaguars in Denver taking on the Broncos.
the
Broncos are
hell.
3-point favorites. 45.5 is the over/under. Here's my thinking, Jimmy. Bo Nix has been awesome for like a month, and I'm ready to put money on him. So I'm actually not going to do that, and I'm going to take the Jaguars because if I want to put money on him, that means he's going to play like shit again. That's my thinking. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Bo Nix, I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I think the Broncos do have a actual top five defense in the NFL. I think they're good, but Jacksonville is freaking rolling right now, man. Like we've got good Trevor Lawrence right now. The weapons are weaponing. Like they're playing well. The defense is playing good enough. Like I think Jacksonville wins this game outright.
Oh man, now I'm scared. We both like Jacksonville,
Yeah, I just I
but it
yeah.
just worries me because there's two teams. Yeah, there's two teams that have defenses that really make that I think stand out, and it's Denver and Houston.
Yeah.
And they look like the type of team that could really swallow up Trevor Lawrence. So that's my apprehension. But if Bo Nix is bad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is true.
Our next game sees the Houston Texans, who we just mentioned, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Texans are 14-point favorites. The over-under is 38.5. Jimmy, we saw the Raiders get blown out by, what did that game end up being, 30 something?
Yeah.
And I would assume Houston's going to probably do much the same. What do you think?
Yeah, I think like you said, where like when a lot of teams play the Browns, they kind of dial back the offense because they know they don't need a lot. But the Texans are kind of opposite of that right now because they're starting to find their groove and they want to see what all they can do. And I think they're just going to keep the pedal down and keep going. I love the Texans to cover this, and I love the over. And I think the Texans are a really scary team come AFC playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they can get into a rhythm on offense, that makes them terrifying because that defense is really swallowing teams up, and that's what's going to happen in this game. It's going to be really difficult for the Raiders to move the ball. So Houston could get to 30 on their own, or Houston could cover this just with a touchdown and a couple of field goals. So I love the 14 here. And we're at the part of the season where the teams that have something to play for and need wins don't take the pedal off like they normally would. They're going to play through the end of the third quarter and make sure that this is like a 3-4 score game before they even begin to think about letting up.
Yeah, and one thing I would say is the one thing the Texans defense can't seem to do is cover good tight ends. Like that seems to be the one struggle they have. I'll be honest, I didn't watch any really of the Raiders playing offense last week because they didn't have the ball very much.
There wasn't a whole lot of it to watch.
There wasn't a whole lot of it, but if Brock Bowers is playing and there's a quarterback under center, probably some Brock Bowers player props, probably a good idea.
Our next game sees the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions.
This game.
The Lions are 7-point favorites. 51.5 is the over-under. Jimmy, what do you think?
The Mike Tomlin disrespect will not stand over here, man. What?
7. That's a huge line.
He is fighting for a division title, gets to lose his playoff game at home instead of on the road? What? Get out of here. Give me the Steelers to win this thing outright, dude.
The defense has been playing better. Rodgers has been playing well. I agree. I think Pittsburgh can keep this game close. Our next game sees the New England Patriots, fresh off gagging away the AFC East to the Buffalo Bills. For at least they had it clinched, and they still blew it. They're taking on the Ravens. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. 48.5 is the over-under. Jimmy, this feels like last week. I feel like New England's just a better team than Baltimore. I don't understand why this is a 3-point game for Baltimore.
Well, because the Patriots were the better team than the Bills last week, and Vegas saw what happened there. So they thought, we'll make the Ravens the favorite here. I don't understand what this game is because the Patriots are 6-point better team than the Ravens. I don't get it. I'm taking the Patriots money line. Like, I think the Patriots are going to win this game. But the Ravens shocked the hell out of me last week. Offensively, they looked good. Defensively, they looked good. Or just Joe Burrow looked really bad. I don't know. But the Patriots need to bounce back quick. They gotta want to get the taste out of their mouth. Like, to just be cruising like that and have Josh Allen down and not be able to close the lid on the casket. They definitely got Undertaker on that one. So, but they got to bounce back. But I agree with you. I just think the Patriots are a better team, but I do kind of understand the line. But I'm hoping I'm going to take advantage of it by taking the Patriots.
Our final game of the week sees the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Niners are 6-point favorites on the road. 46.5 is the over-under. And I really want to take San Francisco to win this, but Indianapolis looked like they played with a lot of renewed energy on defense, and Phillip Rivers didn't look terrible.
Yeah, it was all really weird. It was really weird. I think it looks this week like what we expected it to look like last week, I'm all over the 49ers here.
All right.
I just feel like
I'll join you because I'm like thinking about it and I don't like that pick. San Francisco's really got something to play for, and it looks like Indianapolis, if they get down early, could really fall apart.
Yeah, and I just feel like I mean it's just I have not. I mean, I guess I'm probably a little bit more of a fan of Shane Steichen than I was of Frank Reich, but I still don't think the Colts have that good of a coach, and I think Kyle Shanahan is sitting in the lab going, hey, if we just do this on defense, we will dominate Phillip Rivers. Like I would be shocked for the Colts offense to look anywhere near as competent as it did last week. Kudos to them for looking as competent as they did, but I don't think it will look as good. I think they're going to be outcoached and outplayed. And I think the 49ers are going to handle business and just keep the NFC West and the NFC playoff picture looking crazy.
Well, that's the week 16,
yeah.
15? Where are we at now?
15, right?
No, this would be week 16.
Yeah, this would be 16.
Yeah,
this week and two more.
This week and two more, and then the playoffs.
Yes.
So a lot of things will come into focus this week, and we'll just see how ugly it gets in Cleveland with that Buffalo game.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, it's
probably going to be pretty bad.
Everybody enjoy the Josh Allen show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for joining me on a Tuesday night to talk some football, Jimmy.
No place I'd rather be, brother.
And I'd like to thank all of you for listening. For Jimmy Champ, I'm Evan Belfiore. Thank you for listening to No Broken Legs.